Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling a really fascinating figure based on the sources you've given us, Swami Vivekananda. He's often described as this monk, philosopher, reformer, the one who really brought India's spiritual ideas onto the world stage.
That's right. And our goal here, for you listening, is to track this incredible transformation. How does a young man, full of questions, maybe even doubts, become such a foundational voice in global spirituality? We want to pull out the core ideas, quickly and clearly.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that. The biography is key here, I think. He was born Narendranath Datta in Kolkata, 1863. And the sources emphasize he wasn't just accepting things blindly.
No, not at all.
He was smart, definitely spiritual, but also deeply skeptical, always asking, does God actually exist? And, what's the real point of all this? He wanted answers he could, verify somehow.
And that skepticism, that almost demanding need for direct experience, that's really central to his appeal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes him relatable. He wasn't just reading books. He needed to know. And this intense search, it really kick-started his whole journey. He was looking for someone who could genuinely show him the truth.
Not just talk about it.
Exactly. Not just lecture.
And that quest, it led him straight to his guru, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And what's interesting there is Ramakrishna didn't just, debate him into belief.
No, that probably wouldn't have worked anyway, right?
Yeah.
With Narendranath's mind.
Right.
Ramakrishna guided him towards direct, personal, spiritual experience. It was all about realization, not just theory. That relationship, that was the pivot. It shifted him from pure intellect to, understanding truth through experience.
From just thinking about it to living it.
Precisely. A lived truth, not just an academic one.
But his understanding wasn't totally formed yet, was it? It seems the next phase, after his guru died, was just as critical. He became a wandering monk.
Yes. This period is crucial. He traveled all across India, often just walking, living with people from every walk of life.
Seeing things firsthand.
Absolutely. The sources really stress this wasn't just wandering, it was essential training. He saw incredible poverty, injustice, the day-to-day struggles of ordinary people.
So it grounded him.
Completely. His spirituality, which maybe started as high philosophy, it got fused with this deep social compassion. He realized that the divinity he was seeking inside himself, it felt like it was being stifled in the suffering bodies all around him.
Wow.
That experience turned his personal spiritual quest into a mission, really, a mandate to uplift people.
It's pretty amazing how quickly he went from being this, unknown monk focused on India's problems to suddenly being on a global stage. We have to talk about 1893, Chicago, the parliament of the world's religions.
Yeah, it's the Chicago moment. It's pivotal.
He's only 30 years old,
Right.
representing Hinduism, which most people in the West knew very little about, and he's just there.
And the impact was just immediate. He gets up on stage, basically an unknown figure, and starts with those famous words, "Sisters and Brothers of America."
And the reaction was huge, wasn't it?
Thunderous, apparently. A standing ovation that lasted minutes. Think about it. A Hindu monk addressing a largely Christian audience with such direct familial warmth.
It just cut through everything. That phrase itself sort of set the tone, didn't it? It wasn't about religious difference. It was about shared humanity.
Exactly. He connected instantly, and his speech followed that same path. He wasn't pushing Hindu doctrine specifically. He talked about tolerance, about the unity underlying all religions, the universal truth you can find in different forms.
And a message of pluralism, really.
Rooted in deep philosophy, yes. And many historians say that single speech fundamentally shifted how the West saw India. It wasn't just some faraway exotic place anymore, but a source of profound and, importantly, practical spiritual ideas.
Okay, practical. Let's transition there because his teachings weren't just abstract ideas, were they? They came from Vedanta, from yoga, sure, but he made them applicable, action-oriented.
Yes, he essentially pioneered what we now call practical Vedanta, taking these high philosophical ideas like non-duality, the idea that everything is fundamentally one, and applying them directly to daily life, to social work, even to nation building.
And karma yoga fits in here, right? The path of selfless action.
Absolutely. That became a key vehicle for modern people, he argued, a way to achieve spiritual growth through your actions in the world, not by retreating from it.
That link between ancient thought and modern action seems to be his signature. So maybe we can break down his practical philosophy into, say, 5 core themes.
Sounds good. Let's try that.
Okay, theme 1 has to be the divinity of the soul.
Right. This is the bedrock, his fundamental point. Every single human being is inherently divine. No exceptions, Doesn't matter who you are, what you believe, what you've done.
So the goal of life isn't to become holy.
Exactly. It's to realize the divinity that's already there within you. And you do that through spiritual practice, self-discipline, and very importantly, through service to others.
And if everyone is divine, that changes how you view service, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just charity.
Precisely. It removes that sometimes patronizing element. If the soul is divine, then serving another person is, in a way, serving God or worshiping God. You're helping that inherent divinity manifest.
Okay, that connects directly to theme 2 then. Strength and fearlessness. The inner call, you could say. He hammered this point home.
Constantly. For Vivekananda, weakness, physical, mental, moral weakness, he saw that as the real problem, the only sin, almost.
Strong words.
Very. He urged people to cultivate immense inner strength, courage. That's where we get that incredibly famous quote, "Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached." It's a call to build resilience, self-reliance.
Now, when he's saying arise, awake in colonial India, that sounds pretty charged politically. How did he manage that? Was it seen as a direct challenge?
That's a really important question. The sources suggest he was careful not to make direct political statements or challenge the British overtly. But the implication of his message was profoundly political, by demanding inner strength, self-respect, rejecting weakness. He was essentially calling for a psychological revolution against the mindset of subjugation.
So build the person and the rest follows?
Kind of. Build individuals strong enough to believe in themselves and their own power. That's the foundation for any kind of freedom, political or otherwise. The change had to start inside.
Okay, so if inner strength is theme 2, then theme 3 is the outward expression, service to humanity, putting that strength to work.
Yes, this is practical Vedanta in action. Karma yoga, lived out. His famous line captures it. Service to man is service to God.
Simple but powerful.
And deeply radical in a way. He argued that real spirituality wasn't about escaping the world, hiding away in meditation while suffering continues. It's about active engagement, using your strength, your realization to lift others up, especially the poor, the marginalized.
So the marketplace, the hospital, they become spiritual arenas too.
Absolutely. As sacred as any temple. Your spirituality shows up in how compassionately you act, how selflessly you serve. Compassion becomes a discipline.
Right. Moving to theme 4, education and youth power. He clearly saw young people as critical.
Oh, completely. And his idea of education was really ahead of its time. It wasn't just about cramming facts or getting degrees.
He had that quote, didn't he, about perfection already being in man.
Education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. Yes. For him, true education was about building character, developing inner strength, fostering self-confidence, giving people the tools to realize their own divinity and contribute meaningfully.
Education as liberation, essentially.
Internal liberation, yes.
Yeah.
Which then enables external contribution.
Okay, and the final theme, theme 5, takes us back to Chicago. Harmony of religions.
Yes, his universal vision. It flows directly from that Vedantic core of non-duality. He wasn't trying to say Hinduism was the only way or the best way. No. He argued passionately for accepting all paths, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, as valid ways to reach the same ultimate truth. Different rivers flowing to the same ocean was one analogy he used.
That feels incredibly relevant today with so much division and conflict. Maybe one of his most challenging ideas now.
It really is. His view forces us to look beyond the surface differences, the rituals and dogmas, and see the shared goal. He envisioned a world where faiths could genuinely coexist peacefully, respecting each other's paths to that single peak.
So let's talk legacy. He died young, only 39, but his influence is undeniable. There are the institutions he founded, the Ramakrishna Math and the Ramakrishna Mission.
Right, and those twin organizations perfectly embody his whole philosophy. The Math focuses on the spiritual training, the inner realization. The mission focuses on the outer action, social service, healthcare, education. Putting that service to man as service to God idea into practice.
Still active worldwide today.
Yes, keeping that synthesis of inner work and outer action alive.
So if you had to boil down his core instruction set, it sounds like, be strong, be fearless, serve others, and realize you're already divine.
That's a pretty good summary, yeah. It's direct, actionable.
And it doesn't feel like just history, does it? It feels like something you could apply right now, navigating modern life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's why he still resonates in our world, with digital noise, constant comparison, feeling pulled in a million directions. His call to find strength within, to know your worth is inherent, not based on external stuff. That's powerful.
It's an antidote. almost.
Could be it grounds you in something solid, something internal.
Well, that brings us towards the end of this deep dive. We've traced him from that skeptical young man through his transformative experiences to becoming this global voice for a very practical kind of Vedanta. Thanks for walking us through these sources. It's been fascinating.
My pleasure. And maybe for you listening, here's a final thought to chew on, building on his ideas about unity and inner strength. If Vivekananda were here today, seeing all the political polarization, the cultural clashes, the sheer overload of information, what specific part of his philosophy, maybe karma yoga, maybe that focus on inner fearlessness, what would he emphasize as the most crucial tool for us to deal with all this fragmentation? That's something we're thinking about.